Hi, everyone. I'm Hannah Bernard with MiningIR, and today joining me is Glen Watson, CEO of Maverick Gold and Silver. It's been a busy year for the company with progress across multiple exploration projects in both Nevada and British Columbia, and I'm excited to dig into all of it today, Glen, so thanks for being with us.
Thanks, Hannah. It's a pleasure to be here with you today. Thank you.
Awesome. So let's start by talking about the work in Nevada. Two projects there, Gator and Jericho. So what have you learned from the work so far there, and how is it shaping your plans for the rest of the year?
Right. Um, Good questions. What we've accomplished to date on really all the areas that we're working on is we've significantly fast-tracked our exploration program in Nevada and BC as well. But Nevada particularly, we just acquired them in the at the beginning of the year, and we're obviously very excited about it. There's opportunities galore in Nevada still, even though there's people sometimes imagine it's been picked over. But we've identified two key projects. One in the Battle Mountain area, that's Gator,
Yeah.
and then one in the southern east portion of Nevada near Pioche, and that's Jericho.
Okay.
But what we've done there is, as I said, we've done more work in the last 6 months than I've seen a lot of companies do in a year and a half. We've accelerated the project, particularly Gator, to the point where we are in the process of starting to permit. It has an existing permit on it, but we're expanding that.
Okay.
And that's a gold silver opportunity. And so our expectations is to get through that process, and we're probably 7 to 8 weeks away from starting the permitting process, and that's about a 6 to 8 week process. So you can kind of do the math that we could potentially have permits by November, and then it's a matter of securing a drill rig and going at that process.
Right.
Jericho's a little bit, it's not quite as far along because there was existing work done on Gator. Jericho's kind of an interesting opportunity for us. It's been overlooked by several companies. It was in their portfolio, and they kept it within the portfolio, but never really got any significant work done.
Mm.
So what we've done is we just completed a sampling program, and that will then, once that's digitized, mapped, then that will just start determining targets for drilling. So
Okay.
we're a little bit behind Gator on that, but potentially we could have permits this year, the end of the year. But we'll see what happens.
Mhm.
The process in Nevada for permitting is somewhat easier than British Columbia,
Okay.
as a lot of people know, but those are highly prospective targets, and the results that we've gotten to date and the work that's been done is really got our team enthusiastic.
Yeah.
Um, we have Peter Baxter. He's a senior advisor. He's got a tremendous background in exploration and in Nevada and South America. And he was an analyst at Scotiabank for 14 years in their M&A. So he's got a vast knowledge of projects and opportunities in Nevada, within Nevada, and elsewhere. But he retired, and then he came out of retirement to do to advance Jericho as his project,
Okay.
and then we brought him in and acquired that project. The company acquired Jericho on its own, and so both Ian Foreman, our VP of exploration, and Peter have been working their you know what offs to get these projects advanced. And we've got that. They're a phenomenal team. I'm
Mhm.
so delighted with all the explorationists we have working for us, and that's because of Ian and Peter's relationships. We've been able to get drillers and things done that based on their relationships, because they're good guys, and they're very, very bright, very knowledgeable.
Yeah.
Silver Vista is British Columbia.
Yeah, you recently received the Mines Act permit there, right?
Beautiful. Yeah, and
Yeah.
that kind of blew us our socks off a little bit. We expected it about 30 days prior to that, they were almost bang on their guesstimate as to when we get the permit. So we're delighted we got it.
Okay.
That'll allow us to possibly drill this October.
Okay.
The team's meeting with the drillers next week, and they're going to go over the project, do some drone footage, and they're doing some other work that we're going to be announcing here shortly. Not drilling, but related to getting ready for drilling.
Okay.
So that is a very interesting project. It's slightly different than a lot of the projects in the area. We're just below the Golden Triangle around the Smithers area, Lake Babine,
Right.
to be exact. We're in a sedimentary hosted style deposit, so it's a little unusual for British Columbia. And these generally yield, Hecla's got some projects in Montana that are substantial, that they're mining now. And this has, so far, with the drilling that's been to date, has got similarities. By no means are we there, but so far the indications are that this is something that has to be drilled some more. There was some holes done in 2021, and we're following up on those holes, and we'll be drilling. We're hoping in October we'll get closer to that, but sometime October, November-ish. So we'll get a program in.
Sounds like a lot of news flow for Q4, right?
Yeah.
With
Yeah.
Potentially Gator getting the permit, and maybe Jericho as well, and then
Yeah.
the drill program at Silver Vista. So a lot of news flow for investors to look forward to. But I also want to ask, you have these projects in both Nevada now and British Columbia. How do those assets fit together, and what does that mean sort of for the long-term strategy for the company?
Well, how do they fit together? Good question. We've focused on silver gold, and we're
You
going to
had to
be,
rebrand, right?
yeah, we rebranded. We were more of a critical metals company before. Even though silver is critical in the US and copper to an extent in Canada, we've all been silver gold bugs. And so that was the idea. We've all worked in areas throughout the world. We all like BC and Nevada. And so that was part of how that fit. And then I built the team around those expertise. And we acquired the properties based on our expertise as well.
Yeah.
So the long-term fit is, yes, we've got geologists that are familiar with those type of deposits, so we're not doing anything that's out of our reach. But the long term, as far as gold and silver and copper, I think the needs will increase as data banks and go, and EVs and whatnot. So I don't think there's going to be there's going to be shortages, and I think extreme shortages. So right now we're seeing a dip in the prices, but I think that's just a bit of a correction and a bit of what's going on in the world at this point. So we think long term we're in the right sector. It's a consistent sector. We're not critical. We're not bouncing around to uranium and all the other metals. We're staying the course.
Staying focused, it sounds like.
Yeah, staying focused. And the real takeaway from it is, and I've expressed it different ways, but we have 3 kicks at the cat, and it's not just drilling one property and crossing our fingers that Mother Nature has blessed us. We've got 3 opportunities for her to bless us, and that is significant. And with the geologists, we have Bob Weicker, who's our geologist working on Silver Vista. And then Ian and Peter, we've got some significant opportunities for discoveries.
Yeah, it
So
sounds
that's
like you have the
exciting.
right team
Yeah.
behind this, and you said you built the
Yeah.
team around the projects that you have, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
very strategic. So just to close this out, often, we have an investor audience here, and maybe if they're hearing the Maverick story for the first time, what is something that you really want them to take away from this conversation, or maybe something that might be overlooked about the Maverick Gold and Silver project?
Yeah, I think the key takeaway right now, the market is somewhat soft as of today's interview, and our price is soft. And the takeaway now is we of course we think we're undervalued, but we feel we're trading substantially below where we should be. Our market cap is, good Lord, around the 5 million. And with these type of projects, we should be trading substantially higher. But we've got our work cut out for us. We have to develop news, and we're working on that. And we hope to have through the summer, and pick it up in the fall. So the takeaway, news is coming. We hope it's positive, and it's a great time to look at the company and maybe start the process. So that would be the main takeaway. So good management, undervalued, great areas, and the right metals, we feel.
Yeah, it really does sound like, maybe the overlooked element is that there's a huge opportunity here, and now's the time to get in. So that's
Correct.
That's a great segue for us to close this out, Glen. But I'd love to just hear, where investors can find you, your website, where you're trading, and your ticker.
Sure. We trade on CSE as MAV, in Frankfurt VR61, and the OTC is VRCFF. And
Awesome.
it's MaverickGoldSilver.com. That's MaverickGoldSilver.com.
Amazing. Well, we look forward to seeing all that news flow come down the line for the rest of the year. Thanks for being with us, Glen.
Thanks, Hannah. Appreciate your time. Bye.